This is my commentary on Emerald Tablets 6, The Key of Magic. This one might get very interesting. Hark ye, O man, to the wisdom of magic. Hark to the knowledge of powers forgotten. Long ago, in the days of the first man, warfare began between darkness and light. Men, then as now, were filled with both darkness and light. And while in some darkness held sway, in others light filled the soul. Now, I'm wondering what he means by in the days of the first man, because man has changed very much throughout the ages. So I don't know which age he's referring to in terms of the first man. That makes it hard to determine what he's stating there in terms of that particular aspect. But of course, he's saying, listen to the wisdom, listen to the powers forgotten. The word magic can also be construed different ways, obviously, because in his day he understood that what he was using, what he would call technology and science, everybody else construed as magic because it was at a higher level of intellect than the average person could perceive. Even today, what some would perceive as magic is actually just technology that others just don't understand, right? And that's existing on a whole lot of levels there. Age old is this warfare, the eternal struggle between darkness and light. Fiercely is it fought through the ages, using strange powers hidden to man, which is very, very, very true. We have no idea the struggle that's going on in higher dimensions to save us from the darkness. It's pretty freaking incredible. And quite frequently we fall to the darkness because we don't understand what's going on. And a lot of people don't even believe that's even possible because we have believed the bullshit for too long. Adepts have there been, filled with the blackness, always struggling against the light. But others there are who, filled with brightness, have ever conquered the darkness of night. Where'er ye may be in all ages and planes, surely ye shall know of the battle with night. Long ages ago, the son of the morning, descending, found the world filled with light, or filled with night. There, in that past time, began the struggle, the age-old battle of darkness and light. And what I find interesting in this passage is when man first became human, the darkness wasn't here, right? So that's what makes me wonder how far back in history he was aware, because my understanding of the history of humans is the Lemurians came here just because they thought the planet was beautiful, and they found these little pod creatures, which were the original forming of humans. We were like tadpoles that developed legs, and we'd go up on the land once the legs were formed. And they thought we were so cute and adorable that they moved here. They modified our DNA. We were basically food for the dinosaurs. That's what our purpose was at the time, right? And then through the ages, different entities, I don't know how many iterations of alterations of our DNA there have been. It's absolutely crazy. But they were the first. And that was not done in darkness in any shape or form. That came later. So I don't know if he didn't know about that or if he didn't care about that for the purposes of this writing. I'm thinking it's more he didn't care about that for the purposes of this writing because his concern is mainly getting us out of the darkness that happened after this point in history. Because once the darkness came to our planet, we've been steeped in darkness ever since. Many in that time were so filled with darkness that only feebly flamed the light from the night. Some there were, masters of darkness, who sought to fill all with their darkness, sought to draw others into their night. Yeah, they were pretty heinous people. Fiercely withstood they the masters of brightness, fiercely fought they from the darkness of night. Sought they ever to tighten the fetters, the chains that bind man in the darkness of night. Used they always the dark magic, brought into man by the power of darkness, magic that enshrouded man's soul with darkness. Yeah, originally, my understanding, originally we didn't die, but how do I say this? We had no drive. We had no desire to achieve anything or learn anything or explore anything, right? We were happy just existing. So we were a dying species as a result of that. And that's actually when the darkness came in, because it gave us something even though it was negative. Banded together in as order, brothers of darkness, they through the ages, antagonists they to the children of men. Walked they always secret and hidden, found yet not found by the children of men. Forever they walked and worked in darkness, hiding from the light in the darkness of night. Silently, secretly, used they their power, enslaving and binding the souls of men. And again, this is the paradigm, I would guess you would call it, of when you're in higher dimensions and you know that the lower dimension entities can't see you, can't interact with you because they, you're in a frequency higher than theirs, right? You can do whatever you want and get away with it. Now, in today, I've seen on several channels where there's actually people out there who have raised their vibration enough that they can actually see these people. And they've described these people. But the majority of humans think these people are just insane, right? When the reality is they've just raised their vibration to a point where they can see what they look like and what kind of being they actually are. It also means that they cannot and will not succumb to that darkness ever again because they have gone so far into the light. And obviously Thoth was one of those people who did the same thing. That's why he knows about them and knows about the war with them and all that stuff. Okay, where was I? Unseen they come and unseen they go. Man, in his ignorance, calls them from below. And I think that's what, I think that's actually what happened when the dweller said, okay, it's time to, because Toph said in his time, there was a war with them. They beat them back down. We did it again. Because we like to meddle in things we don't understand. And then bad things happen. It's like that movie I watched when I was a kid that gave me nightmares for months called Children Shouldn't Play with Dead Things. That's true. If you don't know the movie, I'm sure if you Google it, you'll find it, but it's sometime in the early 80s. Yeah. Dark is the way that dark brothers travel. Dark with a darkness not of the night. And I like how he distinguishes there, because he generally calls night death. You're descending into death. So he's distinguishing these people are dark but not dead. Traveling o'er earth. They walk through man's dreams. Very true. Power they have they gained from the darkness around them to call other dwellers from out of their plane in ways that are dark and unseen by man. Into man's mind space reach the dark brothers. Around it, they close the veil of their night. There, through its lifetime, the soul dwells in bondage, bound by the fetters of the veil of the night. Mighty are they in the forbidden knowledge, forbidden because it is one with the night. So basically the darkness causes death. It's interesting how they put that, because if my understanding is correct, and it's been a while since I've watched that video, so, and no, I don't remember what the source was. But yeah, when the darkness came is when we started having a much, much, much shorter lifespan. Hark ye, O man, and list to my warning. Be ye free from the bondage of night. Surrender not your soul to the brothers of darkness. Keep thy face ever turned toward the light. Know ye not, O man, that your sorrow only has come through the veil of the night? Meaning, without the veil of the night, there would be no sorrow. Ay, man, heed ye my warning. Strive ever upward. Turn your soul toward the light. The brothers of darkness seek for their brothers, those who had traveled the pathway of light. For well know they that those who have traveled far towards the sun on their pathway of light have great and yet greater power to bind the children, bind with darkness the children of light. And this is actually a very important point here. And I think he talks about more throughout the next coming passages here. Sorry. My cat just jumped on the computer, so I'm tracking here. So because we become more powerful the more we drift into light, and we have the devil on the left and the angel on the right thing going on, the devil being the darkness and the angel being the light, right? If we travel up and up and up, the darkness deceives. So if you think that you're talking to the light because he somehow tricked you, you can go back down, but you retained the powers that you received. And that's why they want you, because they want you for your powers. Easy it is to follow their pathway, easy to follow the path that they lead. And this also reminds me of the Matrix, where, and I forget the dude's name, where he betrays the Morpheus and Neo and says, plug me back in. I miss the taste of steak. I know it's nothing but trons, but I miss the taste of steak anyway, right? He achieved a sense of knowledge and whatever, but he was tired of the struggle. He didn't want to struggle anymore to keep going up and up and up. He's like, I want it to be easy again, back into the darkness. But yet, O man, heed ye my warning. Light comes only to him who strives. Hard is the path that leads to the wisdom. Hard is the pathway that leads to the light. Many shall ye find, the stones in your pathway. Many the mountains to climb toward the light. Yet know ye, O man, to him that overcometh, free will he be of the pathway of light. Follow ye not the dark brothers ever. Always be ye a child of the light. For know ye, O man, in the end light must conquer, and darkness and night be banished from light. And my understanding is, I'm sure he doesn't actually talk about it in here, but my understanding is the trajectory that we're on, the light actually does conquer. It just takes a good amount of time, right? Listen, O man, and heed ye this warning. Even as darkness, so is the light. And that's another thing, that when you're in a reality that's duality based, there has to be darkness if there's light. So eventually, when darkness is banished, so is light, because it's all back into oneness and it's all in the all again. We have reformed as the all. When darkness is banished and all veils are rended, out there shall flash from the darkness the light, which is the all. Even as exists among men the dark brothers, so there exist the brothers of light. And that's me saying that, from the darkness the light. I'm the one saying the all, not the text here. Antagonists they, other brothers of darkness, seeking to free men from the night. Powers have they, mighty and potent, knowing the law the planets obey. Work they ever in harmony and order, freeing the man soul from its bondage of night. Secret and hidden walk they also. Because remember how back in, was it the first text or the second text, he was referring to the children of light came down and they're wearing the human, biomechanical suits that look like us, even though they were created out of the ether as opposed to being born into this world, right? Now, I don't think the brothers of darkness are wearing the human biomechanical suits. I think they are wearing a different technology that is more of an illusion. But I can't remember if he gets into that in this text or not. Because to me, the people who have been able to see through it would not be able to see through it if it were an actual suit, like the suit that we wear. And if you don't believe this is a biomechanical suit, try astral traveling, because the people who have done astral traveling, they feel super free and they're able to flex themselves. And when they try to get back into their bodies, they're like, I can't fit in that. And then they have to cram themselves in because their soul is bigger than the biomechanical suit, right? Learn astral traveling, you'll understand. Okay. No not are they to the children of men, yet know that ever they walk with thee, showing the way to the children of men. Ever have they fought with the dark brothers, conquered and conquering time without end. Yet always light shall in the end be master, driving away the darkness of night. And we have that saying that evil will never truly prevail. Even in these times when people are sure that humanity is doomed, humanity is not doomed. It feels like it's doomed because the darkness that exists in these days is in its death throes. And when is a wounded animal most dangerous? Or sorry, when's an animal most dangerous is when it's wounded, right? The tiger is really, really hurting. So the tiger is going to fight as hard as it can. But again, it's wounded. It's going to bleed out while it's fighting. It will not prevail. I, man, know ye this knowing, always beside thee walk the children of light. Masters they of the sun power, ever unseen, yet the guardians of men. And I'm wondering if that's also, and the words just went out of my head. I'm sure it'll come back to me. Open to all is their pathway, open to he who will walk in the light. Free are they of dark amenti, free of the halls where life reigns supreme. Sun are they, and lords of the morning. Now, in the previous text, the Lords of the Morning was completely capitalized like it was a title. In this one, morning is not capitalized, just lords are. So I'm wondering if some of those who have passed on since then have added to those numbers, and those are the ones who are or if that's why there are so many guardians, if everybody's able to have so many guardians. That's curious. Children of light to shine among men. Like man are they, and yet are unlike. Never divided were they in the past. One have they been in oneness eternal. Or maybe a morning is, it was supposed to be capitalized like it was before, and they just didn't realize that. Because it sounds like he's describing the children of morning that he mentioned before. Throughout all space since the beginning of time, up did they come in oneness with the All One. Up from the first space, formed and unformed. Given to man have they secrets that shall guard and protect him from all harm. Which is basically the magic that we have been learning, right? You pick up any, well, really, any pagan book, and it's going to have protection spells and things like that in there. Doesn't matter what version of paganism you're talking about, it's going to have protection in it. He who would travel the path of a master, free must he be from the bondage of night. Conquer must he, from the formless and shapeless. Conquer must he the phantom of fear. And that's the biggest thing, is that the darkness instigates fear, and that's what gives them control over you. If you can understand that and do whatever it is anyway, despite fear, you're conquering that fear. It's a very important distinction. Like they say, soldiers that go into combat don't have any fear. They're just doing it, and that's not true. They're going into combat in spite of their fear. That's what bravery is. Acting in spite of the fear. Knowing must he gain of all the secrets. Travel the pathway that leads through the darkness. Yet ever before him keep the light of his goal. Obstacles great shall he meet in the pathway, yet press on to the light of the sun. Now, as I read that, I'm thinking that means going deeper within yourself. Because the deeper within yourself you go, the higher into the light you can go, right? Because in that one text, he said, he intimated that the sun is your soul and the body is the planet, if I remember correctly. I think I do. Hear ye, O man, the sun is the symbol of the light that shines at the end of thy road. Now to thee I give the secrets, how to meet the dark power. Meet and conquer the fear from the night. Only by knowing can ye conquer. Only by knowing can ye have light. Now I give unto thee the knowledge known to the masters, the knowing that conquers all the dark fears. Use this, the wisdom I give thee. Masters thou shalt be of the brothers of night. Oh, yes. I actually really love this one. When unto thee there comes a feeling, drawing thee nearer to the dark gate, examine thine heart and find if the feeling thou has come from within. If thou shalt find the darkness thine own thoughts, banish them forth from place in thy mind. Send through thy body a wave of vibration, irregular at first and regular second, repeating time after time until free. Start the wave force in thy brain center. Direct it in waves from thine head to thy feet. Okay? Basically, if the fear is coming from within you, what he's describing here is grounding. You start with the energy here and you send it down into the ground, right? Now he's describing regular and irregular vibrations, but it's different forms of grounding. And basically you just keep grounding until you no longer have fear. Maybe I should do a video on how I do my grounding. I'll think on that one. But if thou findest thine heart is not darkened, be sure that a force is directed to thee. Only by knowing can thou overcome it. Only by wisdom can thou hope to be free. Knowledge brings wisdom, and wisdom is power. Attain, and ye shall have power o'er all. Meaning, if the fear isn't coming from within inside you, you're being attacked. And I actually had an entity issue like this in a house that I lived in. And that was rather interesting to deal with. I haven't talked about it publicly. I don't know if I will. If there's interest, I'll think about it. But yeah, but whenever it was near, it was emitting fear. It was trying to get you to succumb to that fear. And the last time I saw it, I realized I wasn't feeling the fear that he was emitting, which meant that I had risen above what he was trying to do. And then I did what I needed to do to make it go away so it would not be affecting the rest of my family, which was rather fun. Sort of. The end result was good and bad, depending on the way you look at it. Seek ye first a place bound with darkness. Place ye a circle about thee. Stand erect in the midst of the circle. Use thou this formula, and thou shalt be free. Raise thou thine hands to the dark space above thee. Close thou thine eyes and draw in the light. Call to the spirit of light through the space-time. Using these words, thou shalt be free. Fill thou my body, O spirit of life. Fill thou my body with spirit of light. Come from the flower that shines through the darkness. Come from the halls where the 7 lords rule. Name them by name, I, the 7. 3, 4, 5, and 6. 7, 8, 9. By their names I call them to aid me. Free me and save me from the darkness of night. Untanas, Quertas, Chital, and Goyana, Huertal, Semveta, Ardal. By their names I implore thee. Free me from darkness and fill me with light. I don't know if any of my viewers know anything about the runes. Because there's a rune pose, and I don't have the room in here to do it. But there's a rune pose that, okay, you're standing straight up, and then you got your arm up like that and your arm up like that, okay? And that's what he's talking about with raising your arms to the heavens, okay? And then you visualize the light coming down from the heavens when you're saying what he said to say. Yeah, I might need to do a specific video on that one, using his words to just to articulate how that goes. I think he's intimating, in terms of place bound with darkness, like either go into a dark room or a basement or a cave, someplace with a closed door. And always cast a circle about yourself. What's interesting is he didn't say anything about casting a circle, just stand erect in the middle of a circle. So it should still be okay if you do one mentally, but I think if you are actually being attacked in this case, as in the case that I described from my own personal experience, you're probably going to want to stand someplace where there's dirt, and use a stick to physically draw a circle around yourself. Yeah, I'm going to want to do a video and demonstrate that. I don't know when I'll get to that, but that's on my to-do list as of now. Know ye, O man, that when ye have done this, ye shall be free from the fetters that bind ye. Cast off the bondage of the brothers of night. See ye not that the names have the power to free by vibration the fetters that bind? Yeah. Use them at need to free thou thine brother, so that he too may come forth from the night. Which means you can use the same thing if you see that your friends or other people are experiencing the same problems, you can do the same thing for them. Thou, O man, art thy brother's helper. Let him not lie in the bondage of night. Which basically means if you know what's happening, you need to do something about it. No excuses. Get it done. You are your brother's keeper. Now unto thee give I my magic. Take it, and dwell on the pathway of light. Light unto thee, life unto thee. Sun may thou be on the cycle above. And that last bit's rather interesting as well. Sun may thou be on the cycle above. So that truly does make me think that I was correct in my thinking that the cycle was coming back up when he descended down into Amenti. Yeah. Pretty cool. But that's it for this one. Thank you for watching. I really appreciate it. If you like the content, like, share, subscribe. That's it. Thank you and have a good night. Bye-bye.